Wow, a little Sting and a little Michael Bublé. Ooh, are you feeling good? It is our Sunday gathering number 163 today. Yay! I'm Sandra. If we haven't met yet, I am joined by my beautiful friend Carrie McLeod and my most handsome, wonderful friends Phil and Darren. Each week we celebrate life and the afterlife with always something extra, always a theme, always something to get you thinking and create a really good week for you. So, our theme today is new beginnings, and that can mean many different things to many different people. Today, I will be doing the reading and also the words from the week and handling the music and things behind the scenes. Darren will be doing our opening and closing prayer and share in the address with Kerry and Phil. Kerry and Phil are going to be doing our medium demonstration and also sharing in the address. So who knows exactly where this is going to go, but concentrate on that word new and how is that going to apply for your week. Of course, we've got a new Kentucky Derby winner. We've got a new king and queen. Anyone else wake up early or watch the coronation yesterday? You can just feel the excitement in the air around the globe. So we are celebrating all things new. So sit back, relax, and we'll get started. I'm going to send it over to Darren for our opening prayer.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Sandra, and a great theme as always. And yes, you never know what to expect in these Sunday gatherings. But if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for the opening prayer for our 163rd Sunday gathering. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, we come together here today as brothers, friends and sisters from throughout our lands. We come together here today at the start of new beginnings within our world, and we unite here together as one under that banner of We Don't Die. As we come together as one here today, we do so from different countries within our lands. We do so speaking different languages and having different dialects. We do so coming together from different backgrounds and different understandings. But we come together here as one, in peace, harmony and love. The love of joining the two worlds together as one. And we ask that we may be of service in some way to help all of mankind. As we open up this Sunday gathering, we cast aside our own wants, our own needs, our own desires. And we enter into this Sunday gathering with an open heart and an open mind, knowing anything and everything is possible. And we ask that the words that you share here today through our workers bring us that healing, that joy and upliftment, and allow us all to immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm. And as always, we find it an absolute joy and privilege to work with your world and walk side by side, hand in hand. And we will do this with the utmost truth and integrity. As we open up our Sunday gathering, we do so with smiles upon our faces, positivity within our minds, and an abundance of love within our heart that we'd like to share to create the perfect meeting grounds for our two worlds to truly come together as one. And we ask as always that that healing light continues to shine to every corner within our lands to bring that joy, that healing and upliftment to all those hearts and minds that may be in need on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you very much, Darren. And we're going to do something new. Instead of me starting off reading, I want to show you just a short video. It's pretty cool, isn't it? When I was thinking about doing a reading for today, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I wanted to do something new, and I got busy on YouTube and I found that video, and that was Matt Cutt is his name. And I found even more research about doing something new, maybe not for 30 days, but what about even for one day? Why? Well, Columbia University did a study where anytime we do something new, we give our brain a boost of dopamine and theta waves, which are the same waves we use during meditation. And doing something new strengthens the regions of our brain responsible for learning and memory. It gives us access to new thoughts, creating and figuring out things new and better. So I think many of us can remember just a few years ago when we all got a new beginning that we didn't ask for when COVID-19 hit the world. Mom and I had lost our business and we had to recreate ourselves. It was a dark time. Everybody was uncertain. She got busy and had the new idea to buy her dream home. So I'm excited to say I'm now part of that, living in this beautiful new home, looking at the trees and the birds and nature. It's beautiful. And of course, my friends and I, that I introduced you to earlier, got the idea of the Sunday gathering and to create online classes and events to reach as many people as we could. And look at us now. Here we are, week 163. We didn't ask for this new beginning, but did we get the necessary boost of dopamine and theta waves to help us create it? I never knew about this, and I think, you know what? Maybe we did. In the video we just watched, Matt said something about doing something new for 30 days. And in that time, he found we become more adventurous. Time is more memorable. In fact, if you do your new thing with someone you love, it can really implant that into your memory bank, becoming some of the best times of your life. And also our self-confidence grows. So whether you do a 30-day challenge or you look to add some new things to your day every day, or maybe both, reflect today on the importance and the opportunities of a new beginning. So that's just a short video / reading. But I really want all of us, including myself, to take this seriously. I think there's a world that we can explore by doing something new. Ponder that. We're going to go into our healing segment now. And normally, and we can still do this, have thoughts and intentions of love and healing, and send our prayers to people and places in the world that need it the most. But on our theme of doing something new, how about use your imagination and do it in a little different way? Maybe there's a rainbow leading to your special person that provides healing. Or perhaps there's a bed made of crystals that when you lie upon it, healthy, well, and whole. Perhaps Tinkerbell from Disney is above planet Earth and just one shake of her wand with all that magic dust, and the world is happy, healthy, and whole. You can use my ideas that just came to mind or something new for you. What's important, though, is to not picture people as unhealthy or sad. Picture them well, happy, whole. Picture things going on in our world, resolved, and people having love in their hearts, like we witnessed yesterday, anyone who watched the coronation. So we're going to go into our healing song, and it is called Brand New by Tim Little. And after the song, we will hear from Carrie, Phil, and Darren, something new about newness and new beginnings. So let me find our healing song. Here we go.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for a delightful group of songs and an excellent subject, especially because of the weekend we are currently in. I know that some of you in Australia and New Zealand are currently in Monday, the start of a brand new week. But I was always told when I was growing up that you can't have a beginning without an ending. But are we aware of the ending as we enter into it? Or are we only aware of it when we reach the new beginning? We know that the start of a week begins on a Monday, but some would say it begins on the Sunday. We would agree with the latter. because our week begins with the Sunday gathering. And it has done for 3 years now, which was a new beginning for us. Sandra spoke about COVID and all that experience that our planet went through. But for us, it was a new beginning of joining you online, a new beginning of being able to reach and speak to people and talk to people about all things spiritual, about life after physical death. That was a new beginning. Who would have thought it? 10 years ago, we would have been speaking into a camera, and that camera speaking out of your television or your computer or your phone and talking about new beginnings. Who would have thought it? It sounds like some new futuristic thing, but here we are. We never would have thought we would have saw electric cars and vehicles. And yet many of us are in cars that when you press the button, we don't hear the vroom, we hear something slightly different. The car tells you, I'm on, I'm ready to go. That's a fairly large new beginning. But if we look at new beginnings in a way that what if we had enough new beginnings so that we weren't aware of the endings? Is that a life that we can have? I'm not sure. I have read it someplace that if you have enough new beginnings, you're not aware of the endings. Now, I'm going to share something with you that I've just suddenly felt as I said that. I don't like endings. I don't think that I'm predetermined to enjoy endings. But I don't know if I would enjoy the beginnings if I didn't have the endings. I wonder if you were to think about all those times in your life where it seemed like the world was ending, whether it was to do with your work, your health, your family, whether it was a bereavement of a person or a pet, whether it was a life circumstance, whether it was a journey, a holiday, a walk, and you felt the end coming, and it felt like what else can possibly replace this? And yet here you are today, thinking about that ending and wondering what was the beginning that started after that? I know for me, as I entered into 2020, we'd done a lot of things. We had a whole year planned, just like you. I suppose every single person on the planet had a thought about what 2020 was going to look like. And then we probably, if you're anything like me, you entered into 2021 going, I'm not planning anything. I have no clue. We're in lockdown, we're out of lockdown, we can travel, we can't. And then we got to 2022 and we were a little bit freer, I was. And here we are in 2023. Bill and I are lucky enough to be able to come and join some of you in your own countries. For us, it's a new beginning, post-lockdown, post-COVID, post-Sunday gathering starting. There's lots of things that are post, lots of things that are new. But I want to pay homage to the endings that I forgot, that I didn't appreciate, or didn't pay attention to, or didn't know were so important. Because if it weren't for those endings, I wouldn't be here speaking to you. I wouldn't be having this experience with you. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Thank you.
Well, good evening again from the United Kingdom. And yes, Miss Kerry McLeod's done it again. I had something in mind to speak and she starts to talk, and as we all do, we listen. And we start to reflect on ideas and experiences, and all of a sudden new thoughts come into our minds. And I think it's only right, as the theme today is new beginnings, I go with those thoughts that Kerry's planted. Because today, as we've said about the theme, few months ago, we were celebrating a life, a lady's life of service, the Queen. And this weekend, as you will all know, that we have a new king, and he was coronated yesterday. But more than that, for 1,000 years, this tradition has been kept. And it makes me think that each time somebody was coronated, it was made king or queen, there was always new beginnings. Well, it struck me yesterday as I saw all the crowds coming together, how people were uniting in a new beginning, a new reign, a new era. I thought to myself, how lucky is the United Kingdom? Then I realised there's all the Commonwealth countries as well. And there's all the people that support the royal family from around the world. And I thought to myself, that's millions of people experiencing a new beginning with a lot of promise, a new beginning starting with a celebration of life, to look forward, to progress. And it really does make me think from that we have that chance every day, ladies and gentlemen. Every time we open our eyes, we have a new start. It got me thinking even more, as Kerry was talking about, every day that we're alive and we're celebrating life and we're living the best life that we can be and living our dreams, we're actually planting new seeds within our minds to create our tomorrows, new beginnings yet again. The more that we start to experience and create and live, we create even more and more new beginnings. So I think what Kerry said is absolutely right. There is no ending. There is just another new beginning, and it becomes a constant. It becomes aligned with who you are and how you gather your thoughts. So actually, the more that we experience, the more that we create. And I think that's a rule in life about those new beginnings. And when we think about it, new beginnings happen all around us. Nature reproduces, the trees bloom and grow new leaves year in, year out. And we can tell the seasons. We can actually start to see when these new beginnings are happening. It makes us think, doesn't it, when we see those leaves coming on the trees and when we see those blossoms of all different colours and we get the scents of those trees and flowers even, it makes us feel good, doesn't it? We start to rejoice. And just recently here in the United Kingdom, the weather has started to pick up. Yes, I dare to say that. I'm going to touch some wood just to make sure I don't jinx anything. But actually, feeling that sun on your body, feeling that sun and that warmth makes you feel a whole different way about life. We start to celebrate it. So again, another new beginning, another new thought. So the more that we can do this, we don't need an event. We don't need a special occasion. We don't need a new day. We just need a positive mindset that we can see all this goodness within our vision, within our minds, within everything that we do in life. All of us here, as Kerry said, for me, I agree. Sunday is the new beginning of the week because we're all together. We're all here rejoicing. A celebration of life, a new way of thinking. Because I've seen the chat box, people are saying it's my first time here, my first experience. It's a new beginning, and hopefully you'll stay with us because it's a beginning that we cherish. 163 weeks, who'd have thought? A new beginning from a new idea, a new creation. So ladies and gentlemen, let those seeds, let those leaves, let those blossoms of ideas start. And let them flow. As Kerry said, let them just flow and be natural, that every day is a new beginning, every moment is a new beginning. And I'm going to leave you with those thoughts to create your eternal new beginning.
Thank you for that, Phil and Kerry. It's always hard going, or difficult going after Phil and Kerry's spoken, because you can't have anything preconceived in your mind because it might be covered, or you sit and listen to Phil and Kerry and then your thoughts change, like Phil said. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh, how do I add to this? What do I talk about? So I'm going to go with a flow and see what happens. New beginnings. We all love a new beginning. I do personally. But sometimes when we look at new beginnings, do we wait for a landmark occasion to happen, such as New Year, turning a year older, King being coronated? Or do we, like Phil and Kerry said, a new beginning can be whenever you want it to be? I think for me, I'd rather the latter. I'd rather my new beginning be whenever I want it to be. I mean, we had a new beginning in the world yesterday. You know, our king was coronated. But new beginnings are never easy. They're not always easy. And if we look at the king being coronated, it was a wonderful, marvelous event for all those that watched it or haven't watched it. It was amazing to see. And when we talk about new beginnings, we think about something completely fresh, something completely new, but it doesn't always have to be. If you look at the coronation, the king was coronated, it was a new beginning. However, they used traditions going back to 1066. So when I started looking at this yesterday before we came online today, I started thinking about new beginnings. And I thought, you know what? It doesn't always have to be brand new. It could be the way we do something, the way we tackle something. It could be how we do it, who we do it with, when we do it. So it's not the whole process has to be new. And it kind of got me thinking. And I thought, you know what? New beginnings are never smooth flowing, should we say. And those of you may have seen yesterday on the news, there was protests about the king being coronated and what have you. And it's the same within our lives, if you think about it. How many of you have thoughts of new beginnings, whether it be going to a new destination, new job, new home, whatever it may be? How many of you honestly can say you've got these thoughts of new beginnings, but you don't see them through, you don't fulfill them? I'm guilty of that. And when we look at it, why? What stops us doing these things and fulfilling these things? It's ourselves. You know, we have doubts, we have questions over it. We're doing something new. You know, we may lose control of something. There's the uncertainty. There's a surprise, you know, what's going to happen? How is it going to work out? There's also the loss of face. You know, if you're going around telling everyone, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it doesn't come to fruition, you have that, oh no, I have to go and explain to everyone now I've not done it because of this, or this failed because of that, whatever it may be. But you know what? Each and every one of us is strong individuals. You know, when we put our mind to something and really want to do it, and again, you've all probably done that at some stage in your life with something. You've gone and done something that you didn't really truly believe in, but you've pushed yourself to do it and you've managed to achieve it. And I bet you're all thinking, yeah, actually I have. Which goes to show we can do things. When we put our mind to things, we can really, really achieve things. And I was thinking, yes, we hold ourselves back a lot as human beings. When things come to change, something different, something new, we do resist, we do hold back, but look at what we can achieve. And it's not just us, it's people around us. People around us can, you know, throw those doubts in there, question it, and, you know, whatever it may be. And I can only talk from my own experience. You know, I was in the States a few months ago, about 2 months ago now, I think. And it was nice because I broke away from my day-to-day work running a diner. I got to think on what I wanted to do different, a new start, a new beginning, if you like. I wasn't going to change the business because it is where it is. It does what it does, but it's something within that business needed to change. It was the how, the when, the with, the who that I need to look at and change. So I came back and I said to all my staff, right, from now on, things are changing. I want positivity, upliftment, you know, I want joy, I want happiness, you name it. You know, things in the world are changing, they're evolving, and we have to change with it. And 2 weeks later, one of my staff came up to me and she said to me, she said, I want to give you a bit of feedback. I said, go on then. She said, we've all seen a change in you. And I sort of stepped back and I said, what do you mean? She goes, you're different. I said, but is that good or is that bad? She said, I don't know, you're just different. And I kind of thought about this and I was thinking, well, how am I different? Nobody can say how I'm different. So I can't say if it's good or if it's bad. I mean, that person's now no longer employed by us because she was a very negative person anyway. And so this is what I'm saying. Sometimes change can be hard, or new beginnings can be hard, because sometimes we have to make decisions that go against what we would normally do, go against what people think and what people believe. But sometimes I think within this world, to get true happiness, you have to sometimes, we're very spiritual people. We look out for everyone around us, absolutely 100%. But sometimes we forget to look after ourselves and do things for ourselves. So when it comes to new beginnings, new ideas, whether it's that holiday, that job, that home, whatever it may be, we need to get rid of those negative thoughts around us, and we need to stop doubting what we're able to do. So my thing today for you guys is, don't dwell on what could be, what may happen, what may not happen. Go for it. Go for those new beginnings. Go for something you've always wanted to do, and you'll be pleasantly surprised how it can turn out. You may look back afterwards and think, how on earth did I do that? How did I do this? But sometimes we can really limit ourselves in our own beliefs, our own thoughts, and we allow others to influence us in that as well. Sometimes you need to just get your head strong, focus on what you want, and really go for that new beginning. Because guys and girls, you deserve these new beginnings. So don't let anyone hold you back, including yourselves. And I shall now hand you to Sandra.
Thank you so much, Darren. As we move into our demonstration of mediumship, a thought just came to mind. Human beings are such that really great things our mind turns into no big deal, same old, same old. And that's just by nature of being human. So I have a request if you want to play along with me. Let's pretend this is the very first Sunday gathering. It actually is the very first for May 2023. But come together with that sense of excitement. You don't know what's going to happen. It's all brand new. Are you willing? Okay, deal. So as we come to our demonstration of mediumship here for the first time, Carrie and Phil are going to be our mediums today. And I do know that everybody's brand new here on our Sunday gathering. So this is what we're going to do. Carrie and Phil are longtime mediums and longtime tutors of mediumship. They're just such wonderful people. And they have a real commitment to humanity, not just here on earth, but our friends in the spirit world, to have their voice heard again. We still have our voices and ways to communicate through emails and texts and whatever, writing. They don't. So as mediums and on our beautiful Sunday gathering today, they'll each have an opportunity to work. The spirit world has this handled from their side. So as there is usually over 100 to 200 people at our Sunday gatherings, and you get to see us four as representations of the world we know as planet Earth, there is a group in the spirit world that has come together, and they know exactly who's going to step forward. So as mediums, and as our friends in the afterlife, somebody will step forward and they'll put some ideas and thoughts and feelings into Carrie and Phil's heads. They will do their very best job as to voice some initial bits of information they've got from this spirit person. Now, I say person because we are still people when we migrate to the other side. We have our personality. We can be any age, any health we like. How about that? So with that, they will give some initial bits of information about the person that has contacted them. So we want everybody here for the very first time to be on the edge of your seat and listen in. Are they describing a person that you know that no longer walks this earth? Now, it could be a loved one. It could be a friend. Sometimes it's somebody a little distant that we may not be thinking of. But if you can understand all of the information that they shared about this person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, I know we're all new to Zoom here, so go find that raise hand button on whatever device you're on and press it. See how it works. Oh, look at that. A hand goes up. Ooh, isn't this fun? Brand new. It's a brand new day. Great. Now, it should say lower hand, so you want to press that again, and your hand will go down. And those of you who may be multitasking or may be out for a walk, you may be accidentally pressing your raise hand button, as we have found. If you are someone who works with Carrie or Phil, your job is pretty easy, and we want you to be honest. They will deliver some information about the person that has come to them. So they're going to tell you, and all we need from you is a loud, clear yes, as in, I understand that information. No, I don't. Or I don't know. Okay. Easy as that. Often when people work with a medium, they're so excited that they just want to share. Well, part of it being evidential mediumship is that the medium gets to deliver this without the recipient getting to speak too much. We want everybody to know that Carrie and Phil really are in communication with loved ones in this unseen world. We all develop the capacity to be a medium, by the way. We all have thoughts and feelings that come into our mind. They work through our imagination, but so often we just brush it off. It's just our imagination. Our loved ones do not wait for Sundays to come say hello. They are with us. They get to be with us at different times in our life. They're only a thought away. Certainly, they allow your privacy. They do. But they're always here to let us know that their love continues. They cheer us on. They're our biggest cheerleaders. And when we close our eyes that last time here on earth, we open them, they'll all be right there, pets included, to greet us. So I think I've covered everything. We're going to go into a piece of music now, feel-good piece of music called New Day by Danny Oski, I believe is the name. Also, before I forget to tell you, at the very end, I have a very playful video of Prince Charles, now King Charles, trying a whole bunch of new things. So you want to stick around to the end because that's pretty fun. So we'll listen to our piece of music. And as we do, just celebrate your loved ones being with you, engage your imagination, think new thoughts, have some fun, and then we'll be back for our demonstration. Okay, so let me find our song. That song makes me feel so good. It's a new day. Carrie and Phil in the house. Hello, guys.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
And you caught me dancing on the beach again. Where did you film me doing that, Sandra?
Anytime, Phil, anytime.
So seeing as we are on a Sunday gathering about new beginnings and doing things that we haven't done before, how about we do something we haven't done before online?
Okay.
You up for that?
Yeah.
Ah, good. Okay. So we are going to do what we would call split links or share double down. We're going to work together, which means that Phil and I will hopefully, if the spirit world are on board with this, we will share the evidence and the contact of your loved one. So I'm going to go first. Phil will share and go second. And then Phil will start the second contact and then share it and pass to me, hopefully, if the spirit world are on board with it. Mm-hmm. So I know that as I'm aware of the spirit world, I know I have Dad here, and I do feel that Dad would have been quite a lively character, but I know he would have also had the sense with him of wanting to always spend time with his family. I do feel he was family orientated, and I know that there's sense with him of wanting to spend time there. I also get the sense that he passed before he got to that good old age of not having to work. So I do feel he passed fairly young. I also get the sense that he would have, whoever in my audience would have memories of playing out in the front yard or playing in the front of the house with Dad.
Thank you very much, Carrie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand all of this information, we invite you to press your raise hand button. All right. We have the lovely ladies of Nina and Rochelle with their hands raised.
Does one of them recognize, I hope I've got this term right, shooting hoop or putting balls through the hoop out the front of the
basketball.
Basketball.
Basketball, shooting hoops, basketball. Well, Nina's hand went down. Rochelle's hand remains up. Rochelle, if you could find your unmute button, you should be able to see it now and press unmute. Rochelle. Oh, Rochelle, I don't know if it's an accident or not, but your hand is raised. Let me see if we can make her a
Let me
panelist.
start this off a new way.
Brand new? Well, it's new to everyone. Okay, Rochelle, maybe you can put your camera on. Her hand went down. Rochelle, are you there?
Hi, I am. Hi.
Hi.
Michelle, so you understand everything that I've said?
I did, apart from the second part, but my phone just went on blank and I couldn't even unmute or take my hand down, but I understood the first part.
You understand being out in the front yard with Dad or out the front of the house?
Yes.
And you understand that there would have been some ball games or some games played out there then?
Yes, my dad used to play handball. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that there's this impact with the ball, but your dad must have been pretty expressive with his emotions in terms of laughter and having fun.
Definitely.
Okay, I heard deaf, so I hope that's definitely. I know with your dad as well, there's a sense here of him of really wanting to spend time with the family.
Yes, he had a very large family. He was one of 18.
Okay, but I know with his family and with you, he would want to spend a lot of time with. And I know there are very strong memories of yours. He's given me the impression of that he spent time with you so that you knew you mattered.
Definitely, I agree there. I can tell.
I get the sense with Dad that he would have been incredibly proud of his family as well and of its heritage. I do feel he would have spoken about his family and been proud of where he came from.
We might have some technical difficulties there.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I lost the service. It just came off of the screen. I'm so sorry, Kerry.
That's okay. Do you understand that your dad would have been very proud of his heritage and would have spoken about where his family came from?
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Do you understand, Rochelle, as well, that your dad could be a child himself? He had that personality and character.
You couldn't have put it better.
Because it just feels that I know Kerry's blending with and being serious, but it just feels I want to have a laugh with him. It just feels I want to tell jokes. It feels like I want to be the center of attention.
All of the time, yes. And I have a little one.
Okay.
That's just the same.
Okay, because it just feels here that I want to entertain people. I want to keep people on their toes. And it feels that he would have told what we call here in the UK long yarns, where he told stories about things and exaggerated them a little bit.
All the time. Perfect.
But it's almost like a way of entertaining you. So there must be memories for you, Rochelle, where he made stories up for you.
Yep, I can take that. Thank you.
Because again, it feels like I want to sit down, I want to entertain, and it feels like there was never a dull moment with him. Even when he's doing chores or working around the house, he seems to make it fun.
All the time, yep.
and it just feels where he would involve people. He had a really good way. If he had to tidy a room or tidy the garage or an area, it feels with him that he get everyone involved.
Yes, yeah. Not very often. I took a photo of him once doing it because it was such a shock to everyone.
Okay, because I know here it's just I want to make it fun, but I feel he could be sarcastic as well. So you never knew if he was being serious or not.
Yep, that's him. Yep, thank you.
Would it be right as well that he also had a side to him that he would help anybody?
Yes, without a doubt.
I also want to say that could be a little bit dangerous because he was an expert at many things and an expert at nothing, if that makes sense to you.
Yes.
He would try his hand at anything like fixing cars or just helping people around the house with DIY.
Absolutely. Anything that you could need a help with, he was there.
But it's almost would he come back with more things that he went with, though. So I know it didn't always go perfectly, but he had that heart of gold that he enacted and tried to really work with as many people to give them the best start or the best possible. How can I put this? He just tried to help and to make people happy.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. And Rochelle, you know your dad would have been very respectful of ladies.
Yes.
Because I know he's showing me one side of him. And when he's working with Phil, I can see that cheekiness and that childishness there. But I know he's not giving me that aspect of him. So I know he would have given ladies their place and wouldn't wanted to offend them.
Mainly, yes, but he was so cheeky, sometimes it overrode that. Yeah.
I've got that to him, but I know he's being very timid with me. I know he's like giving Phil that side of him. But I know too that there would have the street that your dad lived on, Rochelle, it must have been a fairly long road that he lived on.
Yes, definitely.
Because as I come out your house, he gives me this sense that he must have been quite well known within that community and on that street, though.
Yes, it's one road that goes from one end of the town.
Because I know that it gives me the impression of him walking out the door and waving to people as he's passing, because they would have known him.
Yep, everybody, yep.
I know too that on that road, there must have been shops that your dad would walk to and meet up with people. Do shopping, yes, but meet up with people.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
And I know he helped out the neighbours too.
He did, yep.
It was not only just the grass cutting, but I know he used to collect. You would know the neighbour was an elderly gentleman that lived next door to your dad.
Yes, yeah.
And your dad would have collected the newspaper from the shop and for your neighbour.
That's possible, yes.
They've got this feeling of him going out and coming back and spending time talking with people. Your dad liked to talk.
Very much so.
Because I can feel him giving, if I could hear him word for word, I would hear him telling me stories about things that went on within that community. I also know, Rochelle, your dad must have come to your school at a time.
He did, yes.
And I know you would have found this embarrassing, because I know your dad would have done things that would have embarrassed you at the school.
All the time.
And I know your dad must have been able to whistle.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure he did, yes, but I'm not sure.
Because I get this feeling like he would have done a loud whistle and he would have got everybody's attention, and it would have been that moment of you having a memory of, oh my goodness, Dad.
Yeah, there are a few of those, yeah.
I know that with your dad, there's a sense of wanting to bring that cheekiness, that strength, that sturdiness to you at this time, Rochelle, because I know this is what your dad wants to bring, is to remind you of those times. You must also have a memory, Rochelle, of there being a street party or the street getting together for a street party.
Not that I can remember from a younger child, yeah.
Then have you been part of a street party this weekend, Rochelle?
Sadly, no, because of our lovely English weather.
Okay, then there must have been talk that your dad has overheard of street party or there being a get together with people.
I am going to organise one, so it could be related to that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
This is your dad's way of sharing with you that he sees what's happening and that picking up and that being strong, and this is what he wants to bring forward for you, Rochelle.
Oh, that's beautiful, because it's in memory of my son, who would have been 30 next year. So thank you.
Very much, Rochelle.
Thank you so much. That meant the world to me. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. One last thing, Rochelle, just before we move on. I know Kerry said your dad would be quite respectful of women, but he was a little bit naughty with your mother. Because he keeps on saying to do with the telly in the house. So I know exactly where I'm going to leave it with that and say thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're
Phil.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
absolutely welcome.
Thanks.
Absolutely welcome. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Carrie and Phil.
You're welcome. Thank you. So as I become aware of the spirit world, I know that I want to talk about Mum in the spirit world. I know that she has a condition. I know it is cancer that takes us to the spirit world. I also believe with Mum as well, she's a bit of a character. She doesn't want to take no for an answer. So I know she's extremely strong-willed. And I know through that cancerous condition, I know she keeps on moving forward, she keeps on fighting, she doesn't want to give in to it. And I do believe that she went into remission before it finally took her. But I also believe that she would have passed either, I feel that it was just short of her birthday. I feel she didn't make that birthday, her last birthday.
Thank you very much, Phil. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you can understand this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. All right, Carrie and Phil, we have Shauna with her hand raised. Now, Shauna, could you find your unmute button and press that? There you are. Hi, Shauna.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Shauna. Do you understand everything I've said?
Yes, I do.
And you understand where your mum, and I'm not, she's a really strong-willed lady.
Yes.
And if you said, don't take your time or I'll do that for you, you would be told straight and you understand.
She did everything you're supposed to, yeah.
Because I want to say that even I know there was lots of help around. I know she was determined to beat this condition.
Yes.
And I believe that she was quite straight talking as well, Shauna. Yep. And because I feel when she got her diagnosis, she almost argued with the doctors and said, no, I'm not going to accept this. Hello, Shauna, you understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that's fine. But I also believe as well that she would have carried on working in the community, helping other people, even when she was ill.
Yeah, she carried on working. Yeah.
She carried on work. I can hardly hear you, Shauna. Sandra, if you hear her properly, you can give us a. So she carried on working. And it feels that though I want to go a bit further than that. She must have helped people in the local community. She must have done favours for them.
Yeah.
And I want to say she was an advocate for ladies as well. An advocate, she would have helped ladies in the area, the community. That's fine.
Yeah, with her profession.
That's don't all I say. I can hardly hear you. So Sandra, can you hear her properly? You do that, okay? That's fine. So, all right. So I want to say that she would have helped people, but I also feel as well. Would I be right in saying she did care work for people as well?
Did what?
She would have cared for people, helped people in their home get over either disabilities or conditions herself. She didn't. And she never worked as a nurse or something.
Nope.
No, bear with me because I want to look at this just for a second. Shauna, would I also be right in saying that you would know a nurse in the spirit world?
Can't hear you, Shauna. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bad connection with Shauna, but we're doing the best we can.
Can you hear me now?
Say that again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Sorry, my headphones.
Okay, so Shauna, I know you said no to about mum, but would you also know a nurse that's doing this or nurse in the spirit world?
No, I was supposed to be her nurse.
Can't hear her. Has she got a picture, Sandra, perhaps?
Yeah, Shauna, we can't hear you very well. It sounds like you're 100 miles away from the, let's see if we can bring you in as a panelist. And ladies and gentlemen, things happen, which is what's happening right now with, unfortunately. All right, Shauna, if you could try to unmute yourself there. All right, can you speak right into whatever it is, the phone or the computer you're with? Oh, try that again, Shauna. There you go.
Hello.
No.
No. Thanks.
Headphones, I'm sorry.
So, Shauna, can you raise your hand up and down for us on the virtual like you did before?
Yes.
I can't hear if she can do that or not.
Yes, Shauna, see if you can press your raise hand button just so we can see it. That might be the best way to.
I don't.
Okay, so I can hear you a little bit. I'm going to try and work this through. But Shauna, I'm going to take something back. Would I be right in saying it's you that goes helping in the community?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Me now.
Okay.
So,
Well, not exactly. No. Well, not exactly.
no, that's a no. Okay, that's fine. Because I just feel that, would it be right in saying with your mum that she would have helped a lot of people?
She called me that.
Was that a yes, Shauna? We couldn't hear that.
Okay. I think we're going to have to cut this contact.
Yes.
Feedback, okay, which is a real shame. But what I'm willing to do later on is maybe if we get Shauna's email, just put a few things down that we're aware of.
Thank you, Phil. Oh.
So let's cut that one and let's just say that's fine. In fact, somebody's just put up, can she use the chat?
Thank you, Lori, for mentioning that.
Shauna, can you use chat at all? Is that an option for you if you want this reading to continue?
Otherwise, we're going to have to cut it.
Probably say to start again.
We'll start again. Okay, that's fine. Absolutely. So apologize, Shauna. What we'll do, get your email address and we'll send you some things over. That's fine. Okay, good. All right, let's just have a look here. All right, okay. I do believe I've got a gentleman coming forward. I do believe that I want to talk about Father in the spirit world. I do believe that he was self-employed, and I do believe he would have worked from home. And I want to say he's either a mobile mechanic or he would have repaired cars at home as well.
Thank you, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who understands this information? Press your raise hand button. Phil, maybe repeat that.
Okay, so I know I have Father in the spirit world. I know he would have worked from home. I do believe that it was his own business, and I do believe he was a mechanic. I'm not sure if he's done it mobile as well. He would go out and help people, but I know he worked as that mechanic. I'm also, let's just have a look here as well. I also hear the name of John as well, and I do believe that should be his name.
Thank you, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a stroll down memory lane if you understand this information. Phil Lawrence has his hand raised. Lawrence, if you could find your unmute button. Hi, Lawrence.
Hi.
Hi, nice loud voice. Thank you.
Hi, Lawrence. Is this Lawrence from Poole Christian Spiritualist Church?
It is.
Thought to recognise the voice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know of this gentleman, but I haven't read for you, Lawrence.
And I don't know you.
And you understand the information, though, Lawrence?
I do indeed.
And would you understand where your dad was a bit of a character?
Indeed, yes.
And if I said with your dad as well, that he spoke his truth, he said it like it was.
Yes. He did.
And I want to say that he was blunt, but he was honest.
Yes. Yeah. Straight.
There must be memories where he used to work on vehicles at home.
Yeah.
And I want to say there's a bit of this car, there's a bit of that car, there's a bit of all kinds of cars around the home.
Correct. Yeah.
And I want to say as well, he knew where everything was, though.
Oh, very much.
And I want to say it's almost where there was a bit of a carburetor here that needed cleaning up, a bit of a. But your dad had a unique way of fixing things from different parts.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And I also know with your dad, he had a very clever mind. He knew how to fix things or get things going, even though they weren't fully fixed. It's almost like I want to do a superficial fix just to get people home.
Yes. Yeah. Very perfect.
There must be memories of him leaving late at night to go and help people, even though he's not a recovery driver, but he would get them home.
Correct.
And I also know there should be memories of going on holidays with cars where he had to do fixes on cars to keep them going while on holiday.
Yes.
And I also believe if he took them into a garage, he could be an absolute nightmare. He would question the mechanic and say what he wanted and what he didn't want, and he knew how much it would cost.
Yes.
Would I also be right in saying with your dad as well, he used to like a little bit of a drink?
Oh, yes.
But if I said the Scotch whiskey, would that make sense?
Spot on.
But he would drink any kind of whiskey. Let me just have a look at this. Even if it was the blended stuff, he's just said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
He was partial to it and he would never turn it down.
Wouldn't say no, that's right.
Lawrence, your dad I know Phil said he was a bit of a character, but your dad was a bit of a tease as well. In the nice way. Because I know your dad was dropping the evidence into me and I was thinking, oh, and then you'd give it to Phil. Because I know he pieces of the car. You would also have memories of your dad. Your dad would have had pieces of the car inside the house.
Yes, that always went down well.
Because I know I get these impressions of your dad with the newspaper on the floor and those pieces of cars covered in oil over the pieces of newspaper. But as Phil was moving towards the whiskey and the Scotch whiskey, I know there was a particular type of whiskey that your dad kept the bottle for, but not the whiskey in it.
Yes, yeah.
And it must have been, you must know of the memory of where your dad took, surely not, cold tea and put that into a whiskey bottle to make it look like there was whiskey.
You're making him sound terrible, but it's true.
The man after my own heart. I also know he knew where these whiskies came from.
Yes, yeah.
And I know he must have taken time to go into Scotland and go to some of the places that those whiskies were made.
Correct, yeah.
I know as he do, and Lawrence, you would have memories of going with him.
Indeed, I did.
Because I know that you were the designated driver.
The sober driver.
Yes. Because I know that your dad would have said, oh, just a little bit more. But he must have had, Lawrence, would I be right in saying your dad was Scottish?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, then he would have had the ability to repeat the odd Scottish phrase in a very good Scottish accent.
He would do that, yes.
Because I know I can hear his voice and he's very, very good at the Scottish accent. I also need to say that he would have acquired a taste for very, very good Scottish single malt whiskey.
Yeah, he did.
A little bit of extravagance, but I know he often gifted whiskey to other people. And not just whiskey, Lawrence, I know your dad gifted things to other people often.
Correct. Very generous.
I know his generosity is something he has talked about often. And when people remember your dad, they remember the times that he gave lots, he gave of himself, he helped out. And I know he's portrayed himself in one way, but I know he is such a generous soul that there is nothing that he wouldn't have done for another. But I know he was well known within the community for helping others. And I know he was there for you at times, because I know he gives me this impression of being there for you.
Correct.
Lawrence, with your dad, if I said he was a complete petrol head, he lacked anything to do with a motor, an engine.
Correct, yeah.
And if I said he would even go to model planes with engines in, you know, those that can fly themselves?
There was a model plane in the family, another source, but it ended up with him.
I know it did, because he's showing it me. This is the one to go. And it's almost where I know it wasn't perfect, but he would have tinkered with the engine to get it that little bit faster or more powerful, because I've just got that sense with him. But I want to say, he must have been fun to have around.
Yes, definitely.
Feels like there's never a dull moment. And I want to say, as a father, I want to say he was quite nurturing, because he must have taken you places, as Kerry said, but shown you things about life as well, and not treated you as the child. He treated you as the grown-up.
Correct, yeah.
And would I be right in saying it was your dad that got you drunk the first time?
I can't agree to that because I was under 18, but yes.
Okay, but yes. But I also believe he's the one that got you onto whiskey as well.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But I also know that Dad was very clever when people came round with that whiskey. He would give him the lesser whiskey and keep the good stuff for himself.
You make him sound terrible, but yes.
But he's a sensible man.
He's a very sensible man. But I just feel with your father, in his own way, he was a nurturing man that liked to see the world, and he was very interested in the world as well.
Yeah, well travelled.
And I know Kerry said about Scotland, but there must have been a visit to either Speyside or the Aviemore area.
Aviemore, definitely.
Would I be right in saying there's talk of you going to Aviemore as well?
I've just been talking about that today with Stevie Trolland.
I wish you'd never said Stevie Trolland, because I just got Stevie T. I just heard, so I know, and we're not.
Yeah.
I know you're going, sort of thing. And I actually want to say this, so remember this, Lawrence. Me and Kerry will be there, and we'll all do a cheers together with the whiskey. Okay?
All right, but I promise I'll bring out the good stuff first.
I don't trust you. We'll bring our own. No, I'm only joking. I'm going to leave your dad's love. It's a pleasure to get to meet you. I know we have spoken, but I've never given you a contact, and we don't share information like that. But it's nice to deliver a contact and nice to speak to you, Lawrence.
Wonderful, thank you. Could I just quickly, the lady beforehand very much did my mother.
Ah, okay.
So I think Mum
Lawrence, your mother.
My mother, his wife.
Okay, and did she do care work?
Correct, yes, she was a nurse.
That's fine. I was with the wrong person because I thought there's something not right. But that's fine. So please take all of that with you, Lawrence.
Well, thank you very much, both of you.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. I know, as I feel the spirit world coming in, I know I have a young man here. I know as I begin to work with this young man, I get the sense that he would have known his way about the town. I also know that he would have often found himself in predicaments. Is the nicest way I can put it at the moment. I actually feel that there would have been Okay. I know that he would have had a group of people around about him, and I actually feel that his life was taken, that his life was abruptly taken by another person.
Thank you very much, Carrie. I know we had a friend who put her hand up very, very early, and I lowered your hand just because you hadn't finished yet, Carrie. So, my friends, if you can take all of that information, please press your raise hand button. No hands up yet. Oh, change that. Just need an extra moment. Diane, you have your hand raised. Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, Diane. You recognize everything I've said. You understand everything I've said.
I'm not sure what you mean by the first part of people around him, but the second part I can take.
Okay. You know that when his life ended, there were others around him.
No.
Oh, then Diane, you would know that. Just trying to figure out what he's showing me here. You would understand that it was him being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
And you would know that it was in an area and there was a group of people that were involved in his passing.
No.
Really?
Carrie, we have Tracy also with her hand raised. Diane, you just stay right where you are. But Tracy, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Hi, Tracy. You understand everything I've said about this young man whose life was taken and there were others around about him.
Yes.
And I feel this was outside.
Yes.
And you would know where he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
Okay, Diane, thank you very much, but I'm going to work with Tracy for the moment. Thank you very much. I know that there's a sense of him being a lovable young man, but could often get himself into trouble.
Yes.
And I know there's no ill meaning here. There's not a bad bone about him. It's not because he's a bad lad. It's just because easily impressionable.
Yes.
And I feel like he found himself in a situation because he wasn't well aware of what could possibly happen.
Yes.
I also need to say, Tracy, that this young man was very trusting.
Yes.
And I know your surname is Gentile because I see it on the screen here, but I know this young man gives me the impression of him being very gentle.
Yes.
Tracy, would you understand this to be son?
Yes.
Because I got this wave of emotion through me flowing to you. And I know he would have been that little boy that was always at the apron or at the
Yes.
would have been mummy's little boy. I know that
Yes.
he had this impression of following you around when he was very little.
Yes.
I know too that there are photographs of him. He's very little at this point, but I know there's photographs of him with no clothes on, and he is a baby.
I'm looking at it right now.
Because I know he's going, Mom, for goodness sake. I get this impression of him of grown up with the best family around him. I know
Yes.
he was incredibly loved. I know he feels incredibly loved. And I know there are still some questions unanswered about his passing.
Yes.
And I get this impression from him of, it's easy for him to say, but we need to move forward. We need to move on. We need to move in a way that his name is remembered. But I also know you must have a little something with his name on it, but it can only be very small.
Yes.
It's almost like a bit very small there. And I know he wants to acknowledge everything you have, because you do have still some of his things there. And I know that you have a sports top belonging him.
A sports top?
Yes.
I would have to think about that.
Oh, I don't want you to have to think about it. Then you must
No.
another top with it had a number on the back of it that he would wear.
Yes.
Okay, I've mistaken it. I thought it was a sports top, but I know he shows me this top and it's got the numbers on the back. Please know that he is incredibly lively here with us.
Tracy, your son was a very popular young man.
Yes.
Because I want to say he was well liked, because I know Kerry talked about those photographs when he was younger, but there must be photographs when he's older as well with his friends.
Yes.
Because I want to say your son was that kind of soul that went out of his way to help other people, his friends.
Yes.
I want to say that he would have stuck up for them if they were being bullied. It's almost like he was the first one to go in there and he wouldn't think twice.
Yes.
But I also feel as well, he was popular with his teachers.
Oh, yes.
Because it feels, and when I say popular, not for the wrong reasons, I feel that he had that future in front of him. He seemed to do well at school.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say that you've still got school books or paperwork still of his.
Yes.
And I want to say as well, you've even got early drawings from his infancy that you kept as well.
Yes.
But I also feel that you have Christmas decorations that he made.
Yes.
And I know Kerry talked about a small thing with a name on, but there must be either a bauble or something with his name on that he made.
Yes.
But I also believe on one of those baubles, there should be his face as well.
No.
Stay with me. Then, thank you. Would I be right in saying that he made Christmas cards for you himself when he was younger?
Yes. They weren't Christmas cards, but they were cards.
They were cards. Can you look on one of those cards? Because I do believe there's a little sticker or a picture of him, of his own face on one of them, because I feel I made that for you. But I feel with your son as well, he was quite a big built young man.
Yes.
Because I want to say he was a gentle giant, but I want to say he was quite soft underneath.
Yes.
Because I want to say he's actually a mummy's boy, because you went out to be, would it be right with your son that he didn't always listen to everything you said?
Absolutely.
Because I know about that final moment, I hear, sorry, I didn't listen. I was in places where I shouldn't, and I know you warned me.
Yes.
And I've got to say this from him. You are the best mum in the world. And if I'm right with that, that should be written on one of the cards that he made for you as well.
Yes.
Sometimes he couldn't share his emotions with you. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
But I know when he was a younger boy, he would write little letters to you as well.
Yes.
Because I do believe there's an apology for something he broke, like a vase or something in the house. Would you understand? Bear with me. Would we be right in saying when he was younger, he'd play a ball game or something in the living room, the front room?
Yes.
Because I know he broke something, and a way of apology, I feel he wrote his thoughts down for you as well. But I also feel with your son, there must be there must be a photograph of just you and your son. And I know Kerry talked about this sports top with the name number on the back, where he's wearing that with his arm around you.
Yes.
Because I know here it's almost where you must look at that photograph quite regular and give him a kiss on it.
Yes.
Because I know he's just said, when you kiss, say, I love you, and he says, I love you too back.
I know
Oh,
that when you were just close to when your son passed, there must have been either his or somebody very close to him's birthday.
yes.
I know that the apology is there for breaking whatever you broke in the house, but I also know the apology is there for not being able to make the birthday. I also know that there is a sense with him of the apology of sorry you had to go through the number of things you had to go through. After your son passed, it was incredibly complicated, as if things aren't difficult enough.
Yes.
Complicated. I know this is your son's way of acknowledging he saw what happened. He was there with you. He feels no I know he is aware of everything that everybody went through, but I know with you and the family through all of it. And the extra bit you were adamant on making sure happened when he passed.
Yes.
Good on you, Mom. I know this is your son's way of saying, I see you. I see what you're doing. I saw what happened after my transition. I saw what you all did on my behalf. I'm still there with you. Please take your son's love and share that with everybody that needs to hear this message. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy, for allowing us to do that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. And Carrie and Phil, thank you for doing something new.
You're welcome. Well, as you know, for many, many years, we've always done things new. You come up with an idea and we go, oh my God, that's crazy, but we do it anyway.
We thought, why not do this
We'll
online?
do this online. We'll do something different.
I've done it face-to-face before, but not online.
And the funny thing is, there's two things really. There's a memory of myself sat on a chair like I am, and I lost 8 fingernails in one split second on this chair. So when I realized, not this one, but one very similar, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to demonstrate, it's going to collapse. So new beginnings, but also when we do this, Kerry does not like doing it with me because she says, I never share.
He never shares. He did okay, though, ladies and gentlemen, didn't he?
I made a promise that I would share sort of thing. But it's an absolute pleasure to do this different together, not just to prove the intelligence of the spirit world that they can talk to both of us at the same time, but actually to show you guys what's possible out there.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was just great. The people that came forward from the spirit world are representatives of everybody's loved ones. They're very much alive. They're very much real. We will know just how difficult it is to communicate when it's our time, and we'll get to see everything from a new point of view when we reach the spirit world, but not too soon. Love is very real. They are around. They are healthy. They are well. We will see them again. For those of you who want to rewatch the Sunday gathering, the link that you used just now to sign in today, that will become the replay link after we're done. It takes a little while to process. Some announcements for the week. Well, what's going on? You can join our classes if you're interested to know how your soul communicates. Can't recommend enough their Wednesday class with Carrie and Phil. It's a mediumship. It's level 1. It's called. We're already into it, a couple of classes, but there are some replays for you to watch. Take your time. You can enjoy them in your own time. Understand how your soul communicates, because our loved ones are with us. They plant messages and thoughts in our mind all the time, and it's so easy just to chalk them up to our imagination. But they are really with us, and they are very, very real, and their love for us is real as well. You can get a free copy of my book, and chapter 10 is How to Survive Grief. It's at the store page at wedon'tdie.com. Just scroll down, use coupon code FREE. As much as we want to join in the love from the spirit world, we all know the pain involved when we have a loved one pass and the grief that's involved. It's something our human beingness goes through, and it's brutal. So I've got some really good tools to help with the grieving process and help understand it as well. On Tuesdays, Scott Milligan is doing what's called Sitting for the Power Hours. We also have a class on trance and the altered states with him on Tuesdays. Wednesday, our friend William Peters, who has written the book about shared death experiences, is going to be doing an extraordinary interview. This is free to attend, with a lady named Gloria King, who witnessed as one of these shared death experience during the death of her husband. So I'm looking forward to that. That will be recorded. So if you can't join live, no problem. You can get the recording. Again, the store page at wedon'tdie.com is where everything is. Friday, we have In the Arms of Eternity. You can join myself and Scott Milligan. We sit for healing, and then also a demonstration of trance mediumship, which is always quite extraordinary. Sunday is Mother's Day, 1 week from today, in many places in the world. Phil will be organizing that Sunday gathering. Kerry and Phil and Scott are hitting the road. I know Kerry and Phil are coming to the United States. They'll be in Ohio. They'll be in New Mexico. They're going to come see me. They'll probably be on a Sunday gathering right behind me, right next to me. All very exciting. You can see everything they're up to as well at the wedon'tdie.com page. A shout out to our friends who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. Donations are not required, but they sure do help. So thank you very much. You know who I'm talking to by sending the donations. If you want to donate, you can. Back at wedon'tdie.com, if you click on the Sunday gathering page, there's a place that you'll see to donate. Well, so just some brief words for the week. You might be new to this, or you might be here a long time, but we have dedicated our lives to let you know that there is a much bigger picture to life. I now have 392 episodes of We Don't Die Radio and 132 episodes of Shades of the Afterlife. And man, I mean business, telling you that our loved ones are still around and we live on as well. This week, try something new. How about this? Act as if your loved ones really are around you, because they are. Talk to them, listen, spend some quiet time. Think of some shared memories and see what they come back with. How would you live your life knowing that we don't die? Would you take things so personally, or would you kind of find a bigger picture and maybe something to learn? Our egos, our minds, do not like trying new things. They don't. They would rather us be miserable because it's familiar than try something new. So trying something new is where the good stuff is, though. And I don't know about the dopamine and the theta waves and all that, but I sure love the idea of trying new things can give us some new opportunities. So think for yourself, what new thing you going to try today, tomorrow? New food, new movie, who knows? Share it with a friend or loved one and watch the memories be created. So your homework, if you choose to accept it, try something new and then keep doing it. I'd like to turn it over to Darren for our closing prayer, please.
Thank you, Sandra, Phil, and Kerry. Always a pleasure. And thank you to each and every one of you. Now, if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for today's closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from across our lands for coming here today in love, peace and harmony, and uniting as one under that banner of We Don't Die. We'd like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen, for being here with us week in and week out, and having a faith and a trust in us to walk by your side hand in hand, so that we can do these Sunday services each and every week, and allowing us all to leave these Sunday gatherings in a better place, feeling joyous and uplifted through the words and the thoughts shared here today from your world, and for allowing us all to immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm. which allows each and every one of us to leave here positive and uplifted. As we leave this Sunday gathering, we go forward to the dawn of a new day, a new week, and a new era. As we all continue to walk our own pathways and create our own journeys, we can do this in the comfort and knowledge to know that you continually walk by our side, hand in hand, day by day, and giving us the courage to move forward and create our own new beginnings and go forward in our understanding and belief that love and life are both eternal. As we leave this Sunday gathering, we ask as always that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our globe, bringing the joy, the love, the healing and the upliftment to all those that may be in need this week. Until we meet again, my friends, amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And thank you, Carrie and Phil, and all of you at home or wherever you are. Thank you for being here. And of course, our loved ones in the spirit world. We know you're right here with us. As we usually have a closing song, this is a closing video. As promised, Prince Charles, now King Charles, sets the way for doing new things. And certainly there's been lots of new things that he has experienced in his life. So as we go into this closing video, if you feel like putting in the chat box something you may try that's new, or giving us some suggestions of new things to do that you like to do, put them in there. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for embracing our newness today and new beginnings. Go do something fun. Go do something new. I truly feel the best of us is yet to come, but we got to stir the pot, do some new things. So once again, thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week, if not sooner. Bye.